The young and the restless spoilers, full welcome back to our channel, my fellow Genoa City gossips. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness that just unfolded on our screens. Grab your coffee or your wine, because we have a lot to scream about today. I literally cannot even process what I just watched. I am sitting here staring at my screen, my heart is pounding out of my chest, and I am just screaming into the void because I cannot believe they actually went there. We need to talk about Patty Williams. We need to talk about this entire hospital sequence because my nerves are completely shot. I have been watching this show for years. I have survived the Marco Anticelli saga. I have survived the cabin fires. But this was peak, unhinged, classic soap opera chaos, and I am both absolutely furious and completely obsessed with it. Okay, wait, let me back up because I am getting way ahead of myself. Let's set the stage. We know that doctor. Lawrence Markham and Patty Williams have been backed into a corner. Tracy Abbott, bless her glorious, protective heart, literally dragged a confession out of Patty by her hair. We all cheered for Tracy, right? I mean, who knew Tracy had that kind of fire in her? So Patty confessed that she was the one who stabbed Jack and that Markham was the mastermind pulling the strings, because of course he is. So now the walls are closing in on these two psychos. They know the gig is up. The police are circling. The Abbott family is on the warpath, and Ashley is out there somewhere turning into a feral mother bear because Abby and Dominic have been kidnapped. So Markham and Patty have this intense powwow. They agree they need to flee Genoa City before it is too late. And honestly, that is the only logical thing to do. Get on a private jet, steal a car, hop on a freight train. I do not care. Just run, because when Victor Newman and the Abbotts are both coming for you, your life expectancy drops to zero. But no, because this is Patty Williams we are talking about, and Patty does not do logic. Patty does obsession. Patty does delusion. Patty decides that she cannot just leave. She cannot just pack her bags and disappear into the night while Jack Abbott is still breathing, because in her twisted, deeply disturbed mind, Jack belongs to her. If she cannot have that magic they had on the yacht, which, by the way, I still have nightmares about, then nobody can have him. She knows that Jack is lying in a hospital bed, unconscious, fighting for his life after she literally stabbed him. And she knows that the second he wakes up, he is going to point the finger right at her and Markham. So the pressure is on. She is sweating. She is frantic. And she makes the most reckless, insane decision in the history of daytime television. She decides to break into the hospital to finish the job. I mean, are you kidding me? Jack's hospital room is literally guarded by the Genoa City Police Department. There are cops stationed right outside his door. You would think, for once in their lives, the GCPD would have this under control. But no, because we all know that the GCPD is quite possibly the most incompetent police force on the face of the earth. I am sorry, but it is true. How many times have villains just waltzed right past them? So Patty, in all her delusional glory, decides to pull out the oldest trick in the soap opera playbook, the classic Dr. Disguise. I swear to you, I threw my hands up in the air and yelled at my TV, a doctor's coat, a stethoscope, a surgical mask? Really? Are we doing this again? Remember when she literally had plastic surgery to look like Dr. Emily Peterson? I guess she didn't have time for a full facial reconstruction this week, so a stolen lab coat will have to do. And the worst part? It actually works. Patty struts down the hospital corridor, looking suspicious as hell, her eyes darting everywhere like a cornered rat. She walks right up to the police officers guarding Jack's door. These are highly trained officers who have been told that a dangerous, unhinged woman who just stabbed this billionaire is on the loose. And Patty just lowers her voice, adjusts her little stolen badge, and tells them she needs to go in to examine the patient. And they just move aside. They literally step out of the way and let her in. I was losing my mind. Check her id. Look at her eyes. She is practically vibrating with crazy energy. But no, the GCPD just nods and lets the assassin walk right into the VIP suite. I cannot handle the stupidity. I really cannot. But, okay, back to the point. The scene transitions to the inside of Jack's hospital room, and I have to admit, the cinematography here was absolutely brilliant. It was dark, moody, lit only by the eerie blue glow of the heart monitors and the machines keeping Jack alive. The steady, rhythmic beeping of the EKG was the only sound in the room. And then the door clicks shut, and there is Patty. She pulls down her mask, and the look on Stacy Hyduck's face give this woman an Emmy right now. She is so terrifyingly good at playing crazy. He slowly walks over to Jack's bed. He is completely helpless, the great Jack Abbott, reduced to a fragile state, completely at the mercy of this woman who has terrorized his family for decades. She just stands there looking down at him, and you can see a million different emotions crossing her face. Love, hatred, betrayal, obsession. It is all there. She is totally having a full monologue in her head, savoring the moment, playing God with his life, and then she pulls it out, a massive syringe filled with a lethal glowing poison. I stopped breathing. I literally held my breath. I know Peter Bergman is a legacy actor, and they are probably not going to kill off Jack Abbott like this. But in that specific moment, the tension was so incredibly high that I actually doubted myself. I was like, wait, are they doing this? Are they actually going to let Patty kill Jack? She uncaps the needle. She slowly reaches for his IV line. Her hand is shaking, not out of fear, but out of this sick, twisted adrenaline rush. She whispers something to him, probably some creepy goodbye about how they will be together in another life, and she moves the needle closer to the port. The camera zooms in on the tip of the needle. The beeping of the heart monitor seems to get louder and louder. My hands were gripping the edge of my couch so hard my knuckles were white. And then, bam! The doors fly open. The police burst into the room. Finally, somebody in the GCPD grew a brain cell and realized that the doctor who just walked in was acting shady. Maybe they remembered that Patty Williams is a master of disguises. Maybe Paul somehow telepathically communicated with them. I do not care how it happened. I am just so glad it did. The cops rush in, and Patty spins around, her eyes wide with sheer panic. She realizes she is caught. The jig is up, but Patty does not surrender. Oh no. Patty Williams goes down fighting. She lunges toward the IV line, trying to inject the poison in a desperate, last-ditch effort to finish the job before they can stop her. But the cops are faster. They literally tackle her. They dive across the hospital room and tackle this woman to the floor. The syringe goes flying out of her hand and skitters across the linoleum tiles. The crash of their bodies hitting the floor was so loud, and Patty just absolutely loses it. She is screaming, she is thrashing, she is kicking like a wild animal caught in a trap. It was pure, unadulterated chaos. Get off me. Let me go. He belongs to me. She is shrieking at the top of her lungs. Her disguise is ripped. Her hair is a messy bird's nest, and she is fighting with the strength of 10 men. The cops are struggling to hold her down. They have to physically pin her arms behind her back to get the handcuffs on her. The sharp click of the metal cuffs locking around her wrists was the most satisfying sound I have heard all year. They yank her up off the floor. She is hyperventilating, glaring daggers at Jack's unconscious body, her face twisted in pure rage and defeat. The plan failed. The grand assassination attempt is over. The police drag her out of the room, her screams echoing down the sterile hospital hallway as the camera slowly pans back to the syringe lying harmlessly on the floor, and then up to Jack, who is still peacefully asleep, completely unaware of how close he just came to taking his final breath. I am exhausted. I'm emotionally drained. That was one of the most intense sequences this show has pulled off in months. I know some people are complaining on the forums that they are tired of Patty always coming back and doing the exact same crazy things. But personally, I am here for it. This is soap opera gold. We need villains who are completely unpredictable and willing to cross every single line. But wait, because my brain is already spinning with the implications of this. Patty is arrested. She is in custody. This is a massive victory for the Abbotts. But what about Markham? He is still out there. They agreed to flee Genoa City together, which means Markham is probably packing his bags right now, realizing that Patty went rogue and got herself busted. Is he going to run on his own? Is he going to try to break her out? And more importantly, what about Abby and Dominic? Let's not forget the massive, terrifying elephant in the room. Patty and Markham kidnapped Ashley's daughter and grandson. They have Abby and Dominic stashed away somewhere in some horrible, undisclosed location. Now that Patty is in police custody, she is the only one who knows where they are, assuming Markham abandons ship. Is she going to talk? Is she going to use their location as leverage to get herself a deal? Or is she just going to sit in an interrogation room, smiling that creepy, vacant smile, while Ashley literally tears the city apart brick by brick? Because let me tell you, Ashley Abbott is going to lose her absolute mind when she finds out Patty is in custody. Ashley was already feral. She was already pushed to the absolute edge of her sanity when she got that photo of Abby and Dominic. If she gets her hands on Patty in that police station, there will not be enough cops in Genoa City to stop her from ripping Patty limb from limb. I am predicting a major showdown between Ashley and Patty through the bars of a jail cell, and I am already popping my popcorn for it. And what about Jack? When he finally wakes up from this coma, the psychological toll this is going to take on him is going to be massive. He is going to wake up and find out that not only did Patty stab him, not only did she kidnap his niece and great-nephew, but she actually stood over his hospital bed with a syringe full of poison while he was completely defenseless. How does a person even recover from that kind of trauma? I have so many questions, and I am so wired right now, I don't think I am going to be able to sleep. This show is firing on all cylinders right now. The pacing, the drama, the stakes, everything is dialed up to an 11. I cannot wait to see the fallout tomorrow. Will Patty crack? Under interrogation. Will Markham escape? Will Jack finally open his eyes? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I the only one who almost had a heart attack during that syringe scene? Do you think the GCPD needs to be completely defunded and replaced at this point? Sound off below, because I need to vent with people who understand this specific level of stress.